Notts County Talk, welcome to episode 82 of the Pavis Perspective. Loads of you already tuning in, so thanks for that on the penultimate league game of the season, George. Gone quick. Whoa, has it gone quickly this season?
It's one of those, isn't it? Sometimes it feels like it has, but then when you think back to some of the games that have been this season, I'm thinking games like Chesterfield at home. That feels like ages ago. But in terms of the season itself, it does feel like it's gone quick, doesn't it?
It does. It does to me. As always, we are powered by BetterBats Computers. Find their link in our description. Mention us when you go in for discounts. And if you are listening back on Spotify, please do leave us that 5-star review. Evening to loads of you: Nigel, Kieran, Phil, Derek, Paul, Ian, Gary, Chris, Finn. So many of you joining. Stuart, Matt. Really appreciate you joining us. We've at most got 4 Pavis perspectives left, George, until we have a couple of months break.
Yeah.
I'll make it 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's hope. Well, I'm hoping we have 2. If things magically go into plan, but I'm hoping for 4. Definitely not that number in the middle of 3, but there we go. The season comes down to Saturday, really. Yeah. That's it. Plain and simple. It comes down to Saturday as to where or how we get promoted. I've seen a comment in here that from Phil that sums it up. The game against York means everything or nothing, really. Massive, absolutely huge. I expect Wrexham to win on Tuesday night. And then York go and do that thing. Yeovil go and do that thing of getting my hopes up. 0-0 at half time. Playing okay. Their issue was they had to go and win the game. So they were relegated without winning. And you're just looking to lose when you go and score 35 odd goals all season, and then you're gonna have to go and score against Wrexham. You're gonna get carved open, aren't you? So Bournemouth and Torquay are their test now, but we will look at that a little bit later. Let's look back at the last game then. Woking, George. We're in hospitality. How did you feel being hospitality?
I felt great. I felt amazing. I felt wonderful.
That's magic.
3 fantastic
it was
words
good
there,
though, wasn't it? I'm sure quite a lot of people have been in there at some point. I've been in there a long time ago. No, I thought it was really good.
No, I was impressed. It's the first time we've been to the hospitality at Notts, isn't it? I was impressed. It was really good. It's good as well to sort of get the manager's perspective before the game. Get a brief few questions in for the man of the match as well, which was Sam Austin. So it's sort of good to sort of see them, up close. And with their, like I said in the All Black and White, with their guard down a little bit, because they're with the home fans. There's no cameras there. No one's going to be recording what they're saying. So they probably get away with a little bit more. Like it wasn't anything ridiculous, but there's probably certain things that sort of Williams was willing to share with fans that he wouldn't be willing to share on like a public forum like YouTube or something like that. So it was really good, and a massive thanks as well. I've got to say it again, Paul, for inviting us along, because I thought it made the day that extra bit more special, didn't it? It's great to just be around that sort of area as well, because like to where we were sat to our left, you had Stal and Charlie, and then a little bit further down you had the sort of players that weren't in the squad. I've got to say as well, Mayor walked down the stairs next to me at half time. I think I'm 6'1", 6'4", 6'1", something like that, and he towered over me. He's a unit. He's massive.
That was the highlight of your day. I remember you saying it was.
You're probably right. Yeah. I was going to say the leek and potato soup, but yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, it was. It was good. No, it was really, really good. And we, you will have seen before the Dagenham game. We don't want to mention the Dagenham game too much, but before that game, we went to Leicester, didn't we? Hospitality for Leicester, Leicester Arsenal game. And I'll tell you what, if that's Premier League to non-league standard, Notts were absolutely fantastic, like brilliant, accommodating. Yeah, just really, really good. And without a doubt,
only gripe, I think, Was the hand dryers.
It's always the gripe, George.
It's terrible, isn't it?
It is.
Terrible.
You were drying your hands on your shirt, which I thought was classless, if I'm honest. Classless.
That's who I am. It's who I
It was
am.
classless. You came back from the toilet, your shirt was soaking wet. I think you'd wiped your hands on it anyway. So no, but really, really good. And then obviously the performance first half. We looked tired. We spoke to a few people, didn't we, at half time? We looked tired. I was saying up until sort of 2 or 3 games ago, I hadn't seen Palmer give the ball away all season. And I noticed it in the Wrexham game, but that was because they were a good side. And then I noticed it again against Woking that first half, and we didn't look quite on it. Bostock looked on it the whole time. He looked really good. But we sort of questioned, didn't we, whether we're going to get that win. And second half, really good. Really good. 3-0. I don't want to jinx things for the future, obviously, but it puts things into perspective, doesn't it, that we've played against what before the games kicked off at 3:00 with third place in the league, and we've comfortably dealt with them. And I don't really remember too many efforts that they had that worried me.
No.
Is that a good thing, or I know Williams won't let it happen, but could it be dangerous that we've just gone and done that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think complacency is sort of part of this not squad. If complacency does creep in, I think we'd have seen a lot more losses this season. Because we know the performance is there. Because like we've said it a million times, haven't we? Even the games we've lost, every game we've lost this season, even the game against Wrexham, we shouldn't have lost. The performance is there, the chances were there to win the game, whether that be a late penalty or the game just for some reason didn't go our way. We should have won every game, and that doesn't happen through complacency. It's actually the opposite. They've never gone into a game this season thinking, yeah, this should be a walk in the park, really steady. Because if that was the case, that's when cracks begin to show. And a lot of that is down to Williams because that's the standards that he sets.
Yeah, I'll clarify, when I say is it a bad thing, I don't mean the victory. I mean, yeah, like you said, the mental thing of, because look at the teams who've absolutely turned over at home this season. Woking, Eastleigh, who are in and around the playoffs, second half blew them away. Barnet, Southend, all around there. The only ones we haven't, we got draw at home to Bromley, I believe, draw against Boreham Wood, and draw against Chesterfield. So it's almost a split of we've either drawn with these playoff sides at home or we've won. We haven't lost to any of them. We haven't lost to many people this season, let's be honest, but there we go. A couple of shouts in the chat of it. Tiredness could creep in at this point. I think now that there's no Tuesday night games left and going into that, if it is to be the playoffs, that playoff game, we'll have had more rest than any of the sides we are going to face because they're going to have to play that game before us. And I think we actually are quite a fit side because I remember getting to November and thinking to myself, we could be in trouble here. We had a small blip in November, I think, where we lost the Dorking game and drew or something like that, or we drew before the Dorking game. We drew 3 games in a row. And I started to think to myself, like, we're looking tired here in November, but the way we've managed it with a small squad, really good. Do you like the small squad, or would you like a squad like Wrexham where it's absolutely massive? I'll go first. I love a smaller squad. I think it's much easier to manage. For me, yeah.
I'm neither here nor there, to be honest with you. I think for me personally, whatever works, I'm actually not fussy. Whatever works for the manager, in my opinion. Like for the time being, yeah, a smaller squad works. We've got Williams, but I mean, if Williams was an advocate of having a bigger squad and it gets up there, I mean, yeah, I'm not really fussy, to be honest. I don't really have an opinion on that, to be honest.
Well, fair enough. You just shut me up. Should we end it there?
Let's finish it there.
I think that's the good thing about Williams, though. He can work with whatever he's got. Like he's literally putting players in different positions and it's working. Do you remember? Was it Barnet where Vinny came on at wing back? The first time we'd really seen him at wing back, and we're playing with 2 midfielders at wing back, I think, and we're still scoring for fun. Like it was the squad's brilliant. Kieran says small squad, easy to keep everyone happy. Yeah, agree. But then I think we've also got a manager that keeps people happy as well. And I think he's done that through being honest all season. He's not one of these that says he's going to play players that are impressing him and then doesn't. He's done exactly what he said all season. I can't think of one instance where I thought he shouldn't be playing. But there were plenty of instances under previous managers. I'm thinking Doyle here, where I'm thinking he hasn't performed very well. And he was in the squad week in, week out. Jim at some points wasn't performing. He was in, week out. Reeves, week in, week out. So I think the way that no one's position, it's not even that positions aren't safe. It's just that no one's position is permanent other than Matty Palmer, Kyle Cameron, and Maka, really. I can't think of anyone else that's completely solid in their position all season. Maybe Chickson, but I think that's due to lack of options.
Yeah.
Personally. How did you feel walking away from that game, knowing that Wrexham then played Yeovil on Tuesday night and we put the pressure back on? I think you've been, well, I would say you've been very much the fact that you think it's done and dusted anyway.
Yeah.
Still feel like that? Yes.
I don't know if it's because I genuinely feel like that or I'm just sort of. No, I think I genuinely feel like that. Because sometimes it's good to prepare for the worst, isn't it? But anything could happen. Like, let's be honest as well. Like, Boreham Wood, difficult side. Torquay, I mean, looking at the league, I don't think
they have to win. They have to win.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, no, they might have to win on the last day, but Yeovil had to win on Tuesday, and that wasn't a problem for them, was it?
But Yeovil hadn't won 5 in a row.
Yeah, Torquay definitely have a sting in their tail, don't they? We've seen it. They've still got the same manager that they've had when they nearly got promoted. So there's a good manager there. Some decent players at Torquay. Boreham Wood, very firm side. You're not going to score loads of goals against them, I don't think. Not many sides will anyway. But yeah, 2 difficult games for Wrexham. And not to sort of go against what I've just said, but for me personally, the next 2 games for us should be routine. They should be routine. And there's no complacency there, but they should be routine. We should be winning these next 2 games. Because we have to, really, because we can only do what we can do now. We can only go and maximise and get 109 points and potentially, score as many goals as we can to sort of bump that goal difference up if it's needed. Wrexham only need 3 points to win the league, essentially. So they've got 2 games to do it. 2 difficult games, but they're a top side as the league suggests. But you just got to keep the odds in your favour. Like, you can't get things like that sort of bog you down. And that pretty much does seem to be the mentality. I was briefly watching the sort of Matty Palmer interview that came out a few hours ago, just before we came on here. And he was talking about just focusing on us. We can only do what we can do. They're not sort of getting too ahead of themselves thinking about playoffs. I mean, he's probably just half of that's probably, he's got to say these sorts of things. But I genuinely do believe that they probably don't look too far ahead, because it seems to be the cliche thing, doesn't it? Where, whoever's interviewing after the games, whether it be Slater, whether it be, someone from the Post or someone like that, they ask about league positions and stuff like that, players, and Williams and sort of all the coaching staff sort of always go down the avenue of, we don't really, care too much about the league at the minute, which is interesting.
Going back to what we're saying, what gives me hope and what makes me think, I know there's lots of people here that last week were saying to me, it's over. What makes me hopeful is, imagine if the roles were reversed, right? And we needed 3 points from Boreham Wood at home and Torquay away. You wouldn't be sat here confident now, would you?
No.
100% confident. So if you flipped it, and you can't say, Wrexham win games, Wrexham do this. Yeah, well, we've got 4 points difference in the whole season. We've got 103 points. Boreham Wood have conceded less than anyone in the league. They don't score many, but if you want a team to go and get a draw, you put Boreham Wood there in their place. Boreham Wood are on 69 points, Eastleigh on 65 points. Boreham Wood drop points against Wrexham and Eastleigh win. All of a sudden, you're thinking this isn't playoffs aren't on. Like, they could easily, they could pretty much secure playoffs. they could secure playoffs with a draw on Saturday.
Yeah.
There you go. It's not routine because if they get to 70, Eastleigh can't get to Eastleigh. They could secure it, couldn't they?
Yeah.
So I don't think
they need a win.
They do. And then I looked down, and about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I said the rest of the games we've got bar Wrexham, the teams don't have much to play for in that bottom half of the table. And York have been dragged right into it all of a sudden. And I saw a comment earlier that was so true. Torquay could be relying on us to beat York, and we could be relying on Torquay against Wrexham.
Yeah,
which would be a crazy end to the season. But also, could you imagine if Bournemouth took points off Torquay and Torquay got relegated? If Wrexham and Torquay got relegated this weekend, because they can do, and there'd be nothing to play for on the final day. It would just be a walkover from Wrexham, in my opinion. Yeah. What do you make of going away from this? Just thinking of how last games of the season can be dead rubbers and just have nothing to play for. What do you make of that video of Gillingham against Leyton Orient, where Leyton Orient find out they've won the league and Gillingham find out they're pretty much safe and they're passing the ball around at the back for
disgusting
5 minutes? Do you really think it's disgusting?
Disgusting.
So if on Saturday against York,
how many games do they have left?
3, 4.
It's disgusting.
Why is it? They've won the league.
You just said there's 4 games left.
Yeah.
They're 2-0 down, and they've just won the league, and they're happy to do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
So what if
there's no mutual respect there for me. I understand that it's nice that both teams on the pitch are probably getting something from that game in terms of league position, but it just stinks to me.
How bad? How bad does it stink?
I don't want to say how bad it stinks because it stinks bad, but it's not good. It's really not good. Like it just puts it, and I understand why a club would do it, but I personally hate it because I just think, if it was like she was on the other foot and your club had been relegated because the opposition played like that against the club that are now staying up because of that result, you'd be fuming. It's not right. That's not how football should be played. And I understand it's the end of the season, but you wouldn't play a game like that in like the 4th game of the season. And I understand that you wouldn't anyway because of the span of the season, but you shouldn't do it at any point of the season. I think it's a joke. It's disgusting.
I'm looking at Jordan's comment. The ref should have stopped the game and pulled them up on it. What's he going to do?
Send everyone off.
No, personally, I have to. Ian said it's about the integrity of the competition. Other teams wouldn't want that.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's about integrity. How can you have integrity?
I love to see it. I think it's great. Imagine paying for that.
You're being sarcastic. There's no way you love that.
I'd love to see that. It should happen more often, in my opinion.
You've just been promoted, but you've just watched your team be happy to lose 2-0. Mate, Williams wouldn't be happy with that. I'm going to tell Luke.
Jordan needs to stop. Can I stop Jordan commenting? He could have had a word, though. What's he going to say?
What word would he say, Jordan? Single word.
Please stop, Jordan will probably put. No, genuinely, I think it should. I'd love to see it a lot more often.
You're joking.
Middle of the season, like when we were 6-1 up at Maidstone, just pass it around at the back.
Nah, you've lost it.
No, it's poor to see. It's like a novelty thing to see, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but imagine that happens where it's like, I don't know.
People telling me to stop saying it. No, but yeah, you'd be fuming, wouldn't you? You'd be fuming if you were the teams in and around them and they just decided to pass the ball about.
If I was an Orient fan and I was sat in the stands watching my team be happy to lose 2-0,
you've just been told you're promoted.
I don't care. I'm fuming. That's not the mentality. I don't care if you've just been promoted. You've had a fantastic season, fair play. There's 3 or 4 games left to play. I'd be thinking, am I going to bother going to the last 3 or 4 games if that's the attitude?
Limbs around and you're sat with your arms crossed. I just can't.
Fuming, mate.
No.
I think Jordan's right. Ref could have had a word.
And Jordan said it's not FIFA, so I don't know what he's talking about. Um,
No, he's right. He is right. It's not
let's
too
get away
far.
from that. So it's interesting, isn't it? You don't see it very often. It's very, very unlikely that it occurs. Going to the final game of the season, then what if results are going our way and York needed a draw and we needed a draw to win the league, and we find out with 5 minutes to go that we both need a draw, and there's no chance of like Wrexham coming back.
Go on and score a goal. Beat them.
Then we get hit on the break.
Mate, football's football. If that happens, that happens.
I've seen you,
much
mate.
prefer.
I've seen you keep the ball in the corner at 5-a-side with 25 minutes to go. So I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
I'm going to say no comment on that one.
I've lived 25 minutes to go and you were 1-up and you're in the corner. You know, you're ruining the game. No, let's get away from that though. Very good win against Woking. Bit sidetracked there. But no, I agree with you, George, for that. Like, it's ridiculous thing to happen. Player of the season. Hardest player of the season to vote for in your lifetime?
Yeah, 100%. I think for a lot of people, maybe not. I think a lot of people will probably go for the obvious goal scorer. Because he's broke records. He's had a fantastic season. He's been in the right place at the right time. Great lad as well. Like, really good character from what we see of him anyway. But for me, I didn't vote for him.
Can we do a 3-2-1 of what you'd do? Also, can I just point this comment by Chris is a great comment. He said back on the last point, he said we keep the ball anyway, so the fans wouldn't even notice. Yeah, I agree. We'll probably just think we're playing a normal game. Let's go for
you know what song will be being sung, don't you?
We've got the ball. Let's go for a 3-2-1. Who would you put as your third choice, second choice, and first choice for player of the season?
I thought you were doing a 6-a-side team then.
No.
A 3-2-1. So top three. So for me,
who would be third place?
Macaulay Langstaff.
Third place.
Yeah. Second place, Matty Palmer. First place, Carl Cameron.
Really?
Honestly, Cameron got my vote.
Macca, Palmer, Cameron. Ooh, we've got here from Isaac, Macca, Palmer, Austin.
Austin's been good, yeah.
I'd go third place, Aaron the Man. Second place, Matty Palmer. First place, Macca. I think I can't see past 41 goals. And after Maidstone, you'd like to think, unless he's rested, it's way more than 41. Palmer, Ruben, Chickson. Palmer, Macca, Ruben first. Like, neither of us mentioned Ruben. Neither of us mentioned.
Yeah. He's had
could be in there. Ruben's
had a superb season as well. But for me, Cameron, I think it's just because he's been such an exceptional captain as well. He's had a really good season, led by example. He's a bit versatile as well, isn't he?
He's played wing back at.
He's just got a lot of stuff in him. He's got a long range effort on his right foot. And remember who was that goal against? Remember, just outside the 18-yard box. Lovely peach of a goal. Great cross on him. He runs out defence for me better than any of the other sort of back three. He sort of starts it for me. So I think he's probably going to go under the radar a bit this season, Cameron. But yeah, I think, and maybe if you look back through my player ratings this season, you'd probably say you should be picking Matty Palmer or Langstaff. But yeah, for me, it's just Cameron. I think he's had a really good season. His character as well is a massive part of that. So yeah, Cameron.
You're getting slated in the comments.
Slate me, lads. Come on.
Slated. I'm genuinely saying Macca, it has to be first. He has to be. Palmer. If Palmer's not in anyone's top three, that's your issue, I think, there. And Ruben or Aaron the Man, I've gone for Aaron the Man just because he's had such a. Are you voting again?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just looking at comments here, getting ridiculed.
But no, Ruben exceptional, but Aaron the Man for me has been fantastic. And to play that position, how often he does with no one on his back. Let's remember that. Players play better when people are breathing down the neck. No one's been breathing down Aaron man's neck since Toby got injured. No one, and he's maintained those levels. He should be on about 80 assists, especially with the first half of the season.
Yeah.
But there we go. Interesting. That player of the season tally. Because on the vote, because I think there's so many different options you could have as a top three. There's like 10 different variations you could have, and you can't say anyone's wrong, really.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Hypocrite.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Hypocrite.
Callum, we've gone off topic a little bit today because it's the end of the season. But Callum said off top, I have to feel for Scunthorpe fans, 2 relegations in 2 seasons puts into perspective the job of our owners and what they've done. We could easily have been a Yeovil or a Scunthorpe. Quite easily.
Probably on track to if we didn't get bought when we did. Could have even been worse. Could have even been worse.
Massively. Could you, if at the start of the season you'd have said Yeovil, Torquay, Scunthorpe look likely to go down, you'd be really shocked at that, wouldn't you? Especially Yeovil and Torquay.
Yeah. Torquay is solid.
And it makes it harder to get back up because when one big side hasn't gone down, not a massive side, Yeovil, but not one. You've got 3 decent sides that have gone down there. It's going to be tricky, really tricky.
Yeah. Stockport did it though. They rebuilt, didn't they? They sort of went down. They rebuilt and look where they are now. So if it's any sort of saving grace for those fans, you just got to look at Stockport because they've sort of been down to those levels and shown that you can get yourself out of those situations.
Exactly. Inspiring stuff, that is.
Cheers, mate.
Inspiring. Saturday then. Maidstone. I'll be at Maidstone. Putting the pressure on Wrexham's late kickoff. Giving the nerves. Someone actually said in the comments that Bournemouth will be desperate to win that game because getting the 5th place means the home leg, which I hadn't even considered. Means the home leg in the eliminator.
How brilliant would it be as well if they did it? Because it's their last home game, isn't it? Wrexham.
Yeah. Yeah, then they go away to Torquay.
And they've had a flawless home record, haven't they? I think they've drawn 1 at home all season and won the rest. So it'd be brilliant for us.
Yeah.
If they won. But I mean I'll settle for a draw, to be honest. But imagine what a win does to Wrexham.
Or wins in the league.
No, like a win for Boreham Wood. What that does to Wrexham.
Yeah, it means they have to win.
The pressure's on. The pressure's on it. That's saying that we won as well. If we win, the pressure's on.
If they draw,
they have to win because even if they draw, as it stands, we have better goal difference.
And we go to Maidstone.
Yeah, we're going to Maidstone. So if we win that game, and this is all hindsight, it's a beautiful thing and all that. If we win our game on Saturday, which I've already said we should, and then Wrexham draw, that means they retain their goal difference. So we will have better goal difference than them. So going into the final game, if that does happen in an ideal world, it could get tasty.
Yeah, you could have York scrapping for their lives. It's funny because we don't want York to be scrapping for their lives on the final day, but we want Torquay to have a lifeline. So it's all on Maidenhead as well and how they do in their game because Maidenhead are going to get sucked into it as well. Well, they are sucked into it massively. So I stupidly was at a ticket office for 6 a.m. last Friday. I thought Maidstone tickets would sell out. Where's the Wrexham day trippers gone? I bought my tickets earlier. I didn't think they were ever going to sell out. And I think there is a fair amount of that as people, and nothing's taken for granted. People are expecting us to get to Wembley. And from going to Wembley before for games like England matches and things like that, there's a part of people wanting to save their money there, I think. And it's not as high profile as a Wrexham game. But I think for people that are wanting to watch the spending on the football, I think that's why some people have done it. I mean, you've been to Wembley for a couple of England games, haven't you?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. I don't know how much a playoff ticket's going to be, 40, 50, 60 for some of the tickets.
Yeah, ballparking it.
Yeah, you got to get there.
Just for your sort of travelling ticket, you're looking at the guts of £100. It's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah. But I didn't think we would sell out. But I wanted to get that ticket in case. Can you imagine if we won like 3 or 4-0 comfortably, and we'll go through that in a minute, and then just put that pressure on for that night game. It goes down to the final day. There we go. Another off-topic question. So, what about Parkinson being sent off and still on the bench Tuesday night and waiting for an appeal from the Welsh FA?
I wonder which way that's going to go.
I'm just, nothing surprises me anymore.
It'll probably get rescinded, I think.
Yeah.
It's gone to the Welsh FA. I bet the Welsh FA are loving it.
Yeah. Nothing surprises me anymore with them. So there we go. I don't really know what to say about that. You just knew it would happen. Oh, you just knew it would happen.
Oh, you just knew it was going to
happen. Bit of a circus anyway. With that. So 41 and 36 quid Wembley tickets apparently. Was that the pre-sale price? Dad's birthday treat is Wembley. Total win the league.
Chesterfield, Boreham Wood. I don't think he'll enjoy that.
Imagine Khan's dad doesn't even like football. Yeah. Eastleigh.
His dad's probably Chickson though, isn't it? Let's be real.
Yeah, true. Eastleigh, Boreham Wood at Wembley for your dad's birthday treat that has no interest in football. You can't get any better than that. 0-0. Well, no, Callum, I think that's sensible. It's a sensible thing to do, isn't it? Definitely. So we play Maidstone. Realistically, I'm going to put it out my prediction out there. Anyway. I'm looking for 5-0. Genuinely, they've picked up 4 points since Christmas. What are you genuinely looking at? I think 1-0, 2-0, poor results.
I don't, to be honest. I think as long as you win, I'm not overly fussed. I think the performance has got to be there though for confidence. I do agree on the goal front. It would be good to sort of see that because it sort of gives the players, the fans, the coach staff all of that confidence. If it's got putting 5 past a team like Maidstone. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy if it's 1-0, if it's 2-0, if it's. I think conceding would be bad, obviously, but I mean, I wouldn't like to concede against these.
They've scored 43, which isn't too bad. Like I said, Boreham would have scored 50. But no, I know what you mean. I'm looking at their previous results. Conceded 3 to Halifax, 4 to Boreham Wood, 2 to Maidenhead, 3 to Eastleigh. I mean, Wrexham 3-2 at their place, which it was that game, wasn't it, where Wrexham went 2 up, and then they got 2 goals back, and then Hayden scored very, very late on. So, but this is different. This is a side now with absolutely nothing to play for. They conceded 4 to York, 3 to Altrincham, 3 to Dorking. There's nothing left to play for at all, other than a bit of pride. But when you've been battered and bruised this much, I mean, the last 2 games are Notts and Chesterfield. Looking at those two fixtures Chesterfield have and the 5-point gap, Chesterfield are getting 3rd place, aren't they? Let's be honest. They've got Maidstone left and Bromley away. What do you think? Chesterfield 3rd?
Yeah, they're 3rd for me. My mind's just sort of wandered there a little bit, if I'm honest. Just how big would a draw have been at Wrexham?
Don't. I thought about that today.
Man,
don't. It would have put us on 104 and them on 104.
Yeah.
Don't.
Would it? They'll be on 105, I think, won't they?
Would they?
They'd have 2 points.
Oh yeah, they would.
But still,
they'd have had to have won both the games.
Yeah.
Huge, but it's gone, isn't it? It's gone. And you never know. It might not necessarily mean we'd have beaten Woking, and it might not have meant they'd have drawn against Barnet. They would have changed a lot of things, wouldn't it? It would have put the pressure back on us. So who knows? Question here: if it doesn't go down to the final day, do you rest against York?
I don't know. I don't think resting's really an issue, to be honest. I don't know. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
Because there'd be a big gap between
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a big resting point, isn't there, between obviously because we'd be go straight into the semi-final. There's the quarter-final round to play, isn't there, first? So like Notts would have like a 2-week break. Am I right?
I think it's 15 days. I think.
Yeah. So you got that time to rest here. So resting players, unless there's like a niggle that would benefit from resting for 3 weeks. I don't see why it would be beneficial to rest players, to be honest, because 2 weeks is a long time to.
I'm agreeing with Ian here. I think we see rest this Saturday. I think.
Really?
Oh, is it a 1 week gap? 1 week. I think we see players rested this weekend.
What,
If I'm
one
honest.
before the end of the season in the semi-final?
Well, it's the 13th is the final, isn't it?
It's 2 weeks.
Are you
No,
sure?
it is one. Yeah,
It
no,
is
you're
1 week.
you're
Yeah,
absolutely
it's
right.
because
Yeah.
last season, last season has thrown me a bit there. Last season seemed to be an age even before we played
What?
the
So
eliminator.
it's the quarterfinal like a midweek game then?
Yeah,
Must be.
that's why it's thrown me so much because I'm sure we waited 11 days just to play the playoff eliminator against Grimsby. It seemed like an age. So yeah, 27th of April to the 7th of May, I think it is. Yeah, they are the date. So you're having a little check.
I'm gonna look now. Yeah.
Ooh. 8-day break, and the other sides have to play a game in there. Interesting. I think we see change this weekend, personally.
Oh yeah. Then we played on the evenings of the 2nd and 3rd of May
Yeah.
before the semi-finals that take place on the 7th.
There
Interesting.
you go. There you go. Quarters the following week on the Tuesday, Wednesday. So an extra game in there, and then we know who we're against if it goes that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough quarterfinals to contend with. We know obviously it doesn't always work though when it goes to extra time, and you sort of think, well, they played more because Grimsby went to extra time against us, and then they played Wrexham, and it was that massive game, wasn't it? One of the best games I've ever watched in my life, if I'm honest. And Grimsby came out on top. So, who's your side then, George, for Saturday against Maidstone? Who are you going with?
Slocum.
Yeah, agreed.
Back three of in no particular order: Cameron, Baldwin, and Brindley.
Yeah, agreed.
Wing backs: the man.
Agree.
And Vincent.
Agree.
Sticking with it.
Agree.
Midfield pairing, I say, of Palmer.
Yeah.
And Bostock.
Palmer and Jim for me.
Okay. And then the sort of two attacking midfielders, I'm going Ruben, Austin, and then striker Langstaff.
I'm going Austin, Maka, and Scott.
No Ruben.
No Ruben.
Terrible.
The four players that get a little bit of a rest for me this weekend is Rollo, Chickson, Bostock, Ruben.
Okay.
Charlie said, heard rumours Maka's got a virus as he wasn't in the recent training video. Junior Moraes then. Put him in. Be interesting. As we only have 2 games left, where are you both in the Fan Hub Prediction League? I haven't actually checked. Not sure. No idea. Where are you in? Are you at the top? Fan Hub Prediction League. There's 2 games left. I'm not sure. And Chris says, last 4G pitch of the season. Love to see it.
The prediction, I don't even do that anymore, do you? The Fan Hub thing.
Sometimes, yeah. But I always forget.
I do as well.
Chris said, last 4G pitch of the season. Yeah, we don't do well on there, but knowing us, there'll be some statement put out saying they're digging up Wembley and putting a 4G pitch in for the final. And we'll have to contend on there. And Bromley will probably get to the final or something like that, which would be a nightmare. Before we go predictions then, George.
Yeah.
The polls huge today. Absolutely
massive. This is season defining. It says a lot about the Notts fans, I think, this one.
One of the biggest polls we've done.
Massive poll. Orange juice or apple juice? What a question that is.
It's absolutely huge.
Massive. So 61% landslide winner, orange juice. Apple juice gets 25%. Neither gets 14%.
What did you vote?
Apple.
I voted Apple.
Did you? Good lad.
Apple juice is so much better than orange juice.
I wouldn't say it's so much better. You know, like when you like apple juice for me is my it's on my weekly shop. Well, it's not always, but I'm saying in a month, if I do 4 weekly shops, 2 of those weekly shops it's in. But
Yeah.
if I'm on holiday and it's freshly squeezed orange juice, just know that's getting drank.
I'm just big fan of apple juice. Orange juice is all right, but come on, can't beat it. What are you mixing with them? What are you mixing, George? Nothing?
What with apple juice?
Nothing with apple juice. Sometimes apple juice is too sweet. It's not.
You're
World
buying the
class.
wrong ones. The who is it? I can't think of the brand now, but there's an apple and elderflower juice.
Oh, unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. That's an unbelievable
It's
beverage.
the one in the. It's like it's a see-through,
Yeah.
but then it's got the label around it.
Yeah.
If anyone,
most bottled drinks.
No. Most apple and orange juices are actually in
I'm gonna have a quick look. Just keep
standard cartons. You know what I mean? They're in the cartons, but this one's like bit up market. Capella, not innocent. It's not innocent. Not innocent. Orange juice and sparkling water.
Yeah, it is Capella.
Yeah. Callum, I'm gonna have to put that on the screen. That's world class from Callum. Capella.
That's it there, look. Can you even see it?
Yeah, that's the one. Look, how can I describe it any better? A bottle with a label around it.
That's a serious drink right there. Serious drink.
World class. If Jordan's still watching, he's got like 20 in his basket on Tesco's website now. I know it. If not get promoted, then what we're saying? We're doing the episode, the celebration episode with a bottle of that each.
Capella, yeah, that'll be a messy one. That wouldn't it?
That'll be crazy. That'll be crazy. Right, score predictions for Maidstone.
3-0 Knots.
Who scores?
Macca, Austin, ×2.
5-0 Knots. Kedwin Scott 2, Junior Marias 1, Austin 1, Vinny 1. That's what I'm going for.
Good lad.
What if we're sat here next week and it's Maidstone 2, Knots 0? Confidence would be just on the floor. They've picked up 4 points since Christmas. That's incredible.
Yeah. I wouldn't say confidence to be on the floor, but it wouldn't be very nice.
And it wouldn't be very nice. Let's have a look. Kieran says 4-0 Knots, Macca Mariah, Scott ×2. Ian says 5-0 Macca hat-trick, Austin Scott. Someone said, I don't know if this is true, but someone said if Macca scores a hat-trick, he scored more than Maidstone this season, which should be crazy. We've got 2-0 Mariah and Austin. I'd love Mariah to get on the score sheet. Imagine getting another player in goal scoring form before the playoffs. Or if we win the league on the last day. Anyway, 3-0 Marias, Austin and Scott. 6-0 Chicks and hat-trick, Vincent, Cameron and Scott. Some very confident predictions here. No one has predicted us to actually concede. You've got to expect us, like George said, with no disrespect, to be going to Maidstone, long trip on Saturday and picking up 3 points and a fair few goals in the goal difference against a side that have picked up 4 points all season. Thank you as always for joining us on this Thursday. Not many of these Pavis perspectives left, so please do keep joining us. It's a massive end to the season coming up. We'll have some extra content as well as the season starts to come to a close, and we'll have another episode of It's All Black and White on Saturday. As always, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.